personal foul.
That was absolutely ridiculous.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Up on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series.
I don't know. It's tough. Tom's up there, man. Beantown.
What's up, Boston Bruins? Boston Bruins.
What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Jess Almeida here on YouTube and on Beantown Takes, and today we are reacting to Patrice Bergeron's retirement press conference as he is retiring from the game of hockey and he will be no longer playing for the Boston Bruins or in the NHL. Super happy for Patrice Bergeron. It's hard to not be happy for Patrice Bergeron as he's done so much for this community, so much for the city of Boston. I'm going to miss him for sure. This is a part of my childhood that's going away. And it is a very sad day as a Boston Bruins fan for sure. I'm going to miss him 100%. I'm going to miss all the memories, all the times where he would score in big games, especially in 2013, Game 7 of the Toronto Maple Leafs comeback. I was there in attendance that night. That was one of the best games that I've ever been to in terms of a Bruins game. Thank you to Patrice Bergeron for all that he's done for the city of Boston, for all that he's done for the community, and for all that he's done for the Bruins on and off the ice. And especially, thank you, Bergeron, for that Stanley Cup in 2011. I wish we got one more with you, especially this year. I really wanted that Stanley Cup this year, where your future was lingering, and we didn't know what your future was going to look like. If we got this last one here, that would have been the tip of the cap. But at the same time, Bergeron did leave the game of hockey at his best, for sure. And he didn't really miss a beat for most of this season. And I'm just going to cut it short there because this is a long video here. As well-deserved. He was on the Bruins for 20 seasons. So this is well-deserved. A long press conference, a long video for Patrice Bergeron. And we're just going to hop straight into it. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go check out our website. The link's in the description down below. Once again, thank you to Patrice. I can't wait to see your number 37 hanging into the rafters one day. I will be there for that ceremony for sure. I've already told my people that I cannot miss that, and they agree that I should be in attendance for that game for sure. So that is something that you guys can look forward to in the future. And without further ado, let's hop straight into this video.
You guys, thanks for being here today, guys. Appreciate it. Hi.
Sorry if I'm dealing with some... Sorry if I sniffle a few times here. I'm dealing with allergies. It's the absolute worst thing in the world.
Your body told you
For some reason, they're worse today than it was
Yeah,
last
I
couple
think
days.
it was a combination of things. You know, like I don't think I can say it was one thing. There was one particular time that, you know, made me really make that decision. I think it was more over time. I knew that. So before, when I signed this past summer, I knew it was for 1 year. I was leaning that it might be my last year, so the whole year I was kind of preparing for that. And over time, you know, with the body and realizing that, you know, it was just time for me to kind of move on. And there's a lot of things that kind of influenced me, but obviously the main thing is probably the body and you know, spending more time with the family and kind of. Right. I've always wanted to and told myself that for me, like. I wanted to play the game at the highest level that I could, and felt like I wanted kind of to leave on top of my game and feeling good about it, but also thinking about the future and knowing that I want to continue to being able to spend time with the family, but also being active and doing other things and other endeavors that I've always wanted to, but I never really had the time to do.
Mm-hmm. You deserve it.
Patrice, congratulations again.
Thank you.
I assume that the decision to retire involved family and counsel and friends and people you're close to. But has there been a meeting yet? You mentioned the future a few minutes ago. Like, what is the future? Was the future discussed, or is that to be determined down the road?
Probably
I don't mean exactly what you're going to do, but is there some kind of framework of what Patrice Bergeron's future looks like?
No, not for now. I think right now it's really more, I want to take the time to really take a step back and think about what I want to do and what's the next chapter is going to be like. First and foremost, it's going to be taking some time for myself and my family, and spending some more time at home. Obviously, as you know, I've always been grateful and thankful for being a professional athlete and being able to live a childhood dream, but also at the same time, it takes away some family time and some time, away from the kids. So I have some catching up to do, and I'm looking forward to that. And then eventually, I'm sure there's going to be, a next chapter or things that I was going to, that I'll want to do, I guess I should say.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you released a statement, but what would your message be to the Boston fans right here and now?
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for everything. It's been an absolute honor to, when you get drafted, you never know, right, where you're going to end up,
Right.
what the journey is going to be like. It's obviously a dream, as I said many times, and I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for, being here, arriving as an 18-year-old kid, basically, young adult, not knowing too much, whether it's the language or even the adult life, really. And the city really took me under its wing and embraced me, and it's been special. So the fans and everyone, I'm thankful for the memories and everything that you guys have brought to me and my family.
Appreciate you,
Hey,
Bergy.
Patrice, congratulations.
Thank you for
And
everything.
Thanks for everything over the years.
You shouldn't be
I
thanking us.
just wonder if you
we
can
should
go
be
back. I
thanking
know it's a
you.
long time ago, but when you were out in the 2007-08 season after the concussion,
Also, quick
you're
note,
going
guys.
through hell, basically.
Don't be sad that it's over. Be grateful that it happened. I know a lot of people are sad. I'm sad also. This is a part of my childhood that's leaving me. I grew up watching Bergeron since I first started watching hockey. Bergeron is probably my favorite hockey player of all time. Don't be sad that it's over. Be thankful that it happened. It took me a couple days to get that mindset, but that's where my mindset is now. And I'm glad I've gotten to witness greatness in front of our eyes. Once again, I wish we got one more Stanley Cup with him, but he was greatness for sure.
What's going through your head there, and what was like a turning point for you where you knew you were going to be able to still achieve your dream?
Oh, was you talking about
I
the
think
07?
at that particular moment,
hit,
you're more thinking
when
about
you got a concussion?
your future and just making sure you're going to live a good life, right? So it was a long journey
That
and
was
a
a
long
scary,
process, but
scary
then
injury.
I think like the next year I started feeling better. I knew there was still some work to do, and but yeah, it's a good question. I think over time I've always believed that I was going to find a way to get back on track and towards my goals and what I thought I could and we could accomplish as a team. So yeah, I think it took a few years, a lot of help, obviously on the mental side. Dr. Steve Durant has been helping me since the beginning, and after that, that incident actually, and my family, obviously all the support that I've had to get me back on track and feeling better about myself mentally and also physically.
Do you remember that feeling when you first got back on the ice for a game?
Yeah, it was special, and I think like I feel like I've said that before, but like things happen for a reason. Of course, I'd like to change that moment, but at the same time, I wouldn't, because it made me stronger, made me realize how
Right.
thankful I am and grateful to be able to play that sport. As I said before, a childhood dream, and they took that away from me for quite some time. And
Right.
so every time in the harder days or the dog days of winter when it's dark out, and I was trying to always appreciate practice or a workout or obviously a game. So it taught me a lot.
Right, good.
Patrice,
Appreciate it.
not to take you back to 07 again, and I apologize, and then we can move on.
Okay,
maybe,
like,
but,
one
for
question
those of us
about
who
it,
were
I
there that
get
day,
it, but
was
two
to me,
questions in
it
a
was
row about
we
that
talked about
incident.
this,
Like,
it
I
was kind of a
understand that was a
frightening news
big moment
conference.
in his career.
It occurred
Like,
to
that was
me,
probably a
I don't know
turning
if it
point,
occurred to you,
obviously,
did-
but, like,
was it
come
in
on, man.
your mind that you might not play again? Can you speak specifically to that?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was ever in my mind. I always
what kind of
believed, I
question
always
was
had
that?
hope that I was going to get better. But yeah, I guess there were some moments that were a little darker and
Did you ever think that
had me
was it?
think
Like,
for a
dude,
second, but
we're-
I was always trying to stay positive on
How many years ago was that? Like,
on moving past that hurdle and that adversity and finding a way. Hey,
Congrats on retirement.
you.
14 years
couple
ago, I would
questions.
say,
First,
something like that.
How strong
16?
were the second thoughts, if you had
16
any,
years ago? Like,
before
come
the
on,
official
man.
announcement? Just thinking about it this summer.
Why are you
and
asking
who did you
that?
talk to most about retiring? When you were thinking about it back and forth, and maybe what was the best advice or the best thing that somebody said to you while you were talking to people about it?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of guys over the course of the last year, I guess, since
understand
last
one
summer.
question on it.
A lot of great conversations, a lot of
But
people, a
back
lot
to
of guys I
back, like,
respect a
come on.
lot.
Like, I
and,
could even understand like one question
a lot of
there
different
and then one
opinions
question
also,
like maybe towards the end.
and advice. So it was pretty
But
special.
that's like
and
the max.
to me, the recurring theme was always that you're gonna know when it's time, and it just felt like it was. I'm a very intuitive guy. I feel like I always listen to my instincts and my heart, and it just felt like it was time for me to move on. Unfortunately, I wish I could play till forever and never
Right.
have to do this. And
Don't we all, huh?
But as you know, it's eventually
Part of the game.
you have to move on, and the body
Yep.
tells you some things sometimes. And I think I had an idea most of the year that it was most likely, there was a good chance it was going to be my last year. I wasn't necessarily like public, as you know, with it, and I wasn't sharing with many people, but some guys knew that there was a chance.
Boy, I'm glad I got to be him that
But
last
I've always
time.
and
I'll
obviously
tell you that
communicated
much.
with management, with Cam and Sweens
I know I was
a lot
starstruck,
about
I
it,
really didn't say much, but-
so they knew, like, even at exit meetings, that it was a possibility. But then I didn't want to obviously close the door completely, because I wanted to make sure I was going to let the dust settle and really think about it's a big decision, and I didn't want to I guess make the wrong one. I guess, and I wanted to make sure it was the right decision for myself and my family. So it took a lot of time, but and put a lot of thoughts into it, and but at the end of the day, it's I feel like it's the right decision for myself. I'm excited for what's to come, but obviously, as I said, it's mixed feelings to be here, standing here right now. Like, part of me is as I said, grateful and sad to leave something so special, but also excited for the next chapter.
If I had to go back to that time when we
Hi,
met
Patrice.
him,
First off, congratulations on
year.
a phenomenal career. The city of Boston and all the
I
fans
wish
have
I
so
was-
much
I
to
wish I
remember
just
you by,
thanked
whether
him
it be
for
all the
what he's
Selkies,
done.
whether it be the Stanley Cup win, your leadership. What do you specifically want to be
That's
remembered
something I
for,
do
and what do
regret.
you want your
Good
legacy to
question.
be? If you
Good
could write
question.
it in your own words.
Hey, I was just about to say that too.
I don't know. I mean, that's such a hard question for me. I think what I've always tried to do is be a good role model for kids and the younger generation, for my kids, but also for anyone that watched.
I'll back it up real quick because I know you guys definitely missed the question. But I was just about to say too, why hasn't anybody asked him what he wants to be remembered for in his time here in Boston, or in general his career?
The city of Boston and all the fans have so much to remember you by, whether it be all the Selkies, whether it be the Stanley Cup win, your leadership. What do you specifically want to be remembered for, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Right.
If you could write it in your own words.
Good question.
I don't know. I mean, that's such a hard question for me. I think what I've always tried to do is be a good role model for kids and the younger generation, for my kids, but also for
Yep.
anyone that watched the Bruins or the game. And it was always important for me to kind of try to leave a good example and lead that way on and off the ice. I think the community work was really important for me, and I've met so many amazing people throughout the years that it's pretty special. So I don't know. I think the one thing I'll definitely say is I left everything out there. I have no regrets on anything, and I gave my all. But to be remembered, I think it's more hopefully the connections and the way that I was trying to get to know people personally, and to me that's what matters most.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Patrice.
I like that answer too.
What do you love about the game of hockey?
It's another good
Oh my God.
question.
Obviously, what the feelings that you get, right, playing the game, and the
Yeah.
adrenaline, the challenge.
I like that answer.
The adversity. I've said that many times. I think the game has given me more than I've actually been able to give the game. It's pretty special just to have like the friends and the people reaching out yesterday about whether I've played with them for a year or for more than that. It's always the connections, the friendships, the people that I've met, and to me that's what I'll miss the most probably. It is the laughs and all the great memories. But the game has given me a lot, and I'm pretty thankful for it all. And but I think it's the competitiveness and I think it's I guess a combination of things. There's not one thing that I love the most about it, but it's just how I guess I feel about it.
Right.
Patrice, congrats.
Thank you.
When I've talked to you in the past about this day or the future, you've sounded, lack of a better word, you've sounded lukewarm about the idea of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Still feel that way? Is that a fair depiction?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably too early.
I don't
to make
think
up
it's
any decision in there.
in the cards for now. You never say never, and see what can happen eventually. But for now, as I said earlier, I have a lot of catching up to do at home, and I want to kind of take time to rest and really take time for myself as well and unwind. And it's been
you've earned it.
an amazing ride for 20 years,
You've
but
earned
also like hockey brings you a lot of pressure and stress and things on the outside that it'll be a nice change to just be able to kind of be the Uber driver for the family for a little bit and just relax and that's it. So never say never, but I don't for now I don't have like a want or a will to coach.
And also connected to that, you've been on this track for 20 years, maybe 5 years as a kid leading up to it, so 25 years of, people don't often appreciate the grind that goes into the career.
Yeah.
So are there parts specific to the grind, if you will, the preparation, the mental energy and dedication and all? Are there parts when you reach this point you're glad to let them go?
Good question.
I don't know. I think like it's those would be a nice change. I think I don't know if I'm glad to let some things go from it.
I was gonna say.
I think there's
I'll say it
in
after
anything
you
that you do, there's always things that are awesome, and there's things that are are part of it, and you have to kind of get used to it. And so there might be some things that I'm not going to miss as much, but overall I think it's been a pretty special ride, and there's not much that I would really change, to be honest with you. So like there's not one thing that I think like I'm happy that it's over. You know what I mean?
How about just like...
My question would have been, what parts of the grind will you miss the most?
I don't know. I feel I kind of I want to make sure I stay healthy and stay on top of that. Maybe the grind won't be the same, and the preparation won't be the same, and all that stuff. So
exactly.
maybe in a way,
keep yourself in shape,
it'll be nice to just kind of do that, but not
what almost every human being does.
Have like a schedule or have like an end game, if you will. So and we'll see. Maybe I'll need something like he ran a marathon. So obviously
that was unreal.
The competitive nature is always going to be there. So we'll see what happens. But
Big Z
but you're right.
marathon.
That I see what you're saying. So like that part, to just kind of take a step back will be nice.
Patrice, congratulations. Was there
Thank
a
you.
moment in time since the end of the season you just got up and you knew this was the end?
There wasn't like a particular moment. I think it was over time that it kind of came to me that as the year and the summer went on, I felt like as I said, I was trying to let the dust settle and see like, is there going to be a part of me that's going to want to come back? And it was really never the case. I think like as like the preparation and and the routine and the workout regimen is important to be on top of your game and making sure you're doing the right things. And that motivation was slowed down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, this summer, and yeah, it's almost like I was listening to my body and the signs, and it's almost like it was telling me that, like, you're not really missing your workouts, you're not really missing, you haven't been on the ice for a long time, and you haven't really had the itch to get back. And yeah, so I think it's like just all the way throughout, like I just knew it was time, and that I was waiting for anything to happen, or for any motivation to come back, and it was just, I just felt like it was the right time for me to move on. And yeah, and I think at time you have to listen to your body eventually. And as you know, it's 20 years is a lot of hockey, a lot of games, and obviously the game is physically pretty demanding, so it takes a toll on its body, and no major issues, but like there's obviously some aches and pains from the past that kind of reminds me some when I wake up in the morning. So yeah, I think it's just time to let that heal and move on.
Yep.
Patrice, congratulations.
Thank you.
If I could take you back to your rookie year and your relationship with Marty Lapointe.
Yeah.
How did you use that to shape your career and your leadership, and maybe how you dealt with younger players as you got older?
Yeah, Marty has had a huge influence on me and my career, and just to being able to come in, I was an 18-year-old young adult and didn't know much about the game, the pro sport, the city, you name it. I wasn't familiar with it, and just the fact that he took me under his wing, and the influence that he had, the impact that he's had on me and on my career as well, on and off the ice, and the fact that his family was so kind to me is something I'll always be grateful. And I actually took the moment yesterday to text him about that, because I felt like yesterday and today is a day of gratitude for myself, for everything that I've been through, and the people that I've met, and the people that have helped me to get to this point. And I think that's what matters most to me right now, and that's why I wrote this letter, was to make sure I was really taking the time to really address the people
That was a great letter.
that influenced me, that made an impact, that made this happen. Because obviously you don't do this by yourself, and I've been very fortunate and lucky to have so many people. So Marty was a huge influence, as I said, and I've always tried to, I guess, emulate what he did to the young guys. So yeah.
Hi, Patrice.
Hey, Lou.
Well done. A couple questions. First, do you know where your family will call home?
We don't know yet. We're definitely going to be here for like this coming year, school year for sure, and make a decision eventually. Obviously, Boston has been our home for my home for the last 20 years, and for the kids like close to a decade now. So it's special. So it is a close place close to our hearts, and we'll see.
And then also, maybe this past season, or maybe even in other seasons, did you ever feel in your game, your performance, any kind of slippage? Did you ever feel like, oh, I can't do something? Or were you satisfied with the level of play that you were able to maintain throughout?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was probably the preparation to get to the ice. I guess the stretching and the mobility work that I had to stay on top of, and yeah, so I guess the preparation to get on the ice for practice was getting longer for games, and it just took me like more time to prepare. And as far as the game goes, I mean, there's always parts of your game that you want to, you feel like you're, it's not quite there. I think it's more mentally you're just pushing yourself to be better and to be at the top of your game as much as possible. I think you're always trying to work on things, and you're never satisfied, I guess. So I've always been that way. So it's hard to really say if there's like how I felt my game was. You're always kind of there's room for improvement. So that's all I've always kind of went about my business, I guess, over the years. But I felt good. I felt good on the ice. I felt good skating. I felt good, making plays and whatnot. I felt like the game was still slowing down, like when I had the puck, and it's not like I felt like I had no time and space, or I couldn't create time and space for myself. But it was more really the preparation, and you know, it was taking a lot longer now to. I couldn't just like put the equipment on and jump on the ice.
Right.
You mentioned a couple times wanting to go out at the top of your game.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little more about that? Because you obviously could have come back and been a major contributor to a team
Good question.
and still been a really, really good player. Why it had to be, you know, the peak?
Good question.
There is no particular reason. I think like I started when I was 18. It's been 20 years. You know, I think it's a lot. You know, it's a lot mentally. It's a lot physically. I think like it wasn't like an actual. I didn't necessarily need to leave on top of my game, but like I'm glad I am. You know, like I feel good about that. But then like it was more like just as I said, the body and the mileage on with all the games and
The tank
and also
ran
just
out of gas.
you know, it's time with the family. You know, with 4 kids now, I'm glad, and I'm looking forward to spending more time at home. And yeah, I felt like it was the right time. You know, but like as far as like my game goes, it's not like I was trying to be leave at the top of my game. It was more just I'm glad that's how I'm leaving, I guess.
Right.
Will you watch much hockey this year? Will you, whether it's
I don't know.
attending it or TV here for centennial events? Do you need time?
You have to,
some
right?
distance
You have
between
to be
it,
watching the
or do you
Bruins from
feel like
home.
you'll still watch?
Good question. I'll definitely be cheering the guys on and rooting for the organization and wish nothing but the best, you know, and hope for continued success for sure. As far as like I'll be honest, I wasn't watching games even when I was playing that much, so I don't know if I'm going to watch games now. We'll find out this year, but
When you're bored on the couch
so
or whatever, you'll be like, hey,
I'm
let me
sure,
just
like,
flip my former
once in
team
a while
on.
I'll
Let's
tune
see
in,
how
but
they're doing right
I don't
now.
know if I'll watch that many games.
Just a couple of follows. If the decision for your family is not to stay here, I assume that's back in Quebec
Yes.
City?
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And is language part of that whole decision?
No, it's got to be family.
I mean, language, no, it's more like family, you know, if, you know, being away from both of our families. So,
Yep. Makes
but
sense.
we'll see, you know, it's also an easy drive or an easy flight, so we'll make it work.
And the other one is, when you were mulling this decision, you know, pros and cons of staying, leaving,
Yeah.
what factor did the way this past season end have in that factoring? Because
Yeah.
obviously it
Definitely
was
did.
disappointing for everybody.
No, for sure. I mean, it was definitely something that, you know, I was thinking about, and that's why I wanted to as I said, let the dust settle. That was the biggest thing is, you know, when the wound is fresh and you know,
You want to run it back.
you can't make rational decisions, right? So you have to really make sure you think about things and or at least give yourself time to let it come to you. And I felt like that's what I did. And you know, there's a part of me that, yes, wanted to come back early on, but then like as it went on, it just wasn't. You know, as I said, you know, the bigger part of me was always leaning towards that being my last year, and I was trying to look at the big picture as well, and not just, you know, be stuck in the ending and look at the whole thing. And as I said, once I took a step back and I realized everything that was fortunate to experience and live as a hockey player and as a person, I felt very lucky and grateful. So for me, you know, it kind of overweight that and helped. I guess my decision didn't really factor in for that long.
Patrice, congratulations over here.
Thank you.
Hi. I don't know if you saw the recorded messages from your teammates wishing you well on Bruins' social media page. One that stood out was Charlie McAvoy saying, "What you've built here is special. I'll do my best to take care of it." When you hear that,
I love that.
what does that
That's
mean to
great.
you?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, and obviously it's a lot of guys that have built the culture and how we want things to kind of to be around the locker room, and being inclusive and whatnot, and also not just with the players but also everyone kind of surrounding the team and that's involved in the day-to-day. So yeah, it means a lot, and I know these guys will be great. Chucky's he's a character guy, and
Right.
And a very great young man. So they're in great hands with all these guys, all the leadership, and as I said, it wasn't me. It was also them and the guys before me, like Z and the rest of that crew. So, but obviously that message meant a lot from all the guys. It was pretty cool, and a nice little secret from Penner over there.
Who do you guys think the next captain is going to be? Is it going to be Martian, Pasternak, or McAvoy? Let me know what you guys think in the
Patrice,
comment section down below.
I remember either the first day or one of the first days you were here in Boston as a rookie. You told us how much of a Nordiques fan you were, and you hated the Canadians, and you embraced that rivalry right away. What did that mean to you? And then just reflecting back on it, how great was it for you to be part of that?
Yeah, it felt amazing, just to be a part of that rivalry. I feel very lucky and fortunate that was a small part of it. You know what I mean? Like the Bruins' history is something that's always going to mean a lot to me, and obviously the Canadians and their history as well. So
Right.
obviously growing up in Quebec City with the Nordiques and the big rivalry, it made it, I guess, extra special to be a Bruin and to continue that rivalry. As I said, I've always had tremendous respect for both organizations, and it was just an honor for me to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Patrice. We'll take a quick break and we'll do questions in French. If anybody
Oh, is that it? Are they doing it in his language now?
want to stay, you're welcome to.
I want to see if they show him leaving or not. Let me see.
Pour moi, mais aussi je sais que je l'ai prise.
Nope, that's it. That's pretty much it right there. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed these videos. Subscribe now if you guys new, you guys know what to do. Go check out our website, the link's in the description down below. Once again, thank you to Patrice Bergeron for all that he's done for the city of Boston, on and off the ice, especially for the Bruins as well. And also thank you to Bergeron for bringing the Stanley Cup here in 2011. One of the greatest Bruin to ever put on the black and gold jersey. You will never be forgotten on this team. Your legacy will live on for years and years to come. And I can't wait for number 37 to be hung into the Raptors. I will be there. You guys can book it, mark it down on your calendars. When that day gets announced, that will be a video. We will be there for sure. Thank you guys for watching this video here. This was a long and emotional video, honestly. I was trying to hold back my emotions too, because Bergeron, my favorite Bruin and my favorite hockey player, now no longer in the NHL. So there'll definitely be a wound there for sure when I go to Bruins games, because it'll be very weird seeing Bruins games without Patrice Bergeron on the ice. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Jesse, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys. Thank you, Patrice, for all you've done. Enjoy your retirement.